Hi, friends. Welcome to the Mastermind Moments podcast.
Hosted by your pals, Josh and Sasha.
Join us during our weekly mastermind as we collaborate on how to make the most out of our lives.
Not only are we going to mastermind our careers, we're going to work on all areas of life together.
Let's do it. Listen in as we make the most of our mastermind moments.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm amazing. How are you doing?
Good. That's really good to hear. I am also amazing. Life is really good. Life is sweet. I feel like we have so much to catch up on. I don't
We
even
have
know where
so
to
much.
begin.
I don't know either. There is so much to chat about. One of the things that Josh said when we first hopped on is, first of all, we haven't recorded in what, 2 weeks?
About 2 weeks. It feels like longer.
Yeah, it does feel like longer because it's been crazy. But the first thing Josh said was like, "Oh, I recognize that kitchen. The kitchen I'm in right now is the kitchen I was sitting in when we did episode 15 with Katie Burns in the depths of the breakup." And those episodes are coming out right now, which is so wild to think about because it's like months later now.
Yeah, crazy,
Like, how
crazy.
different is life, like,
I
from when I
we'll see we'll see where you are
it's
now. I'm really curious to hear, but obviously so much has happened in that time. Yeah.
so much has happened. It's been, I think, 3 or 4, I think it's been like 4 months since I was sitting here and we were
Wow.
recording the
My
breakup
God,
episodes.
that's crazy. That is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Time has
Yeah, four
flown.
months.
This year has flown by so far.
It's going so fast, and I feel like the year is just going so fast. Like, I can't believe we're at the end of the first quarter, basically.
I know. I know. Insane. So whose kitchen is it? It's a friend of yours.
It's a friend of mine. She lives about 20 minutes outside of like downtown Miami. This is the friend where I came to stay. Obviously, when everything was going down with my ex, I came here and crashed here. Her and her husband were in Chicago, but I'm in Miami for 10 days. Today is my first day, and I was kept up, Josh. I can't sleep with how excited I've been about what I'm getting up to for the next 10 days. I
Oh my
couldn't sleep
God.
last night.
Okay. Fucking
Yeah.
sick. Nice.
Yeah. So crazy. Things have been insane since we last talked, and we'll get into it. Should we just spin a wheel and then get into it?
Sure. Why not?
Because
Why not?
there's so much to catch up on. Okay. Spinning a wheel. Spirituality. What is a spiritual experience that had a significant impact on you? What do you think?
Do you want to answer that first? Because I feel like that's a really hard question. I can't actually think of an answer off the top of my head.
I know. I was actually like, I had that question and I was like, I don't actually know either. I'm trying to think of I'd say the closest, like, impactful spiritual experiences I've had have been, it's going to sound like crazy, okay? But I just feel like sometimes going to these Tony Robbins events, like, really gets me in touch with my spirituality, like, really gets me in touch with that. Or sometimes when I'm just like sitting in like just stillness and in meditation and things like that. But honestly, like, some of these spiritual experiences are not necessarily like the what you picture, like going to a church or going to a temple or whatever. I feel like there are these moments of like deep intuition and knowing, which honestly, I know I've talked about it a million times, but going to Coachella, I think, was a spiritual experience for me. Like, that first time, just like
Sense.
that full body knowing and intuition to just go, I would call it a spiritual experience. But it's a hard question. Like, I don't know if there's been anything like I haven't had any sort of come to Jesus moment. Actually, it's really funny. Our friend Mary, who we had on episode 13, she told me, she was like, I hope during your year of travel you have an experience in a church. And I'm like, Mary, I'm going to be traveling all over the world. Of course I'm going to go see beautiful churches. She goes, no, Sasha. She goes, I want you to go to a church and have a come to and be with Jesus. I was like, okay,
Yeah. Has it happened yet?
cool. No,
No. Okay.
but
We'll
I have
see.
been in
There's
some
plenty of
beautiful
time.
churches.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm
you
sure you
never
have.
know.
I'm sure you have. Wait
What
till you
about
come to
you?
Europe.
Yeah.
What about me? So maybe I'm gonna take this too literally because it's not tying into really religion or meditation or anything like that. My experience is fairly recent, and I was trying to remember just now if we have got into this on the podcast previously. I think I've told you about this before, about the psychic experience that my mum had about a month and a half, 2 months ago, fairly
Maybe?
recently. So she went to see this Australian psychic who was like really highly rated. My mum has always been quite skeptical, as most people are, about
I think you have, but
psychics.
continue. Yeah.
Yeah, so she went to see this guy. He's in Australia, so it was like a phone call. And like the first thing he says is, "Your dad's in the room with me." And they spoke for an hour, and he got the most minute details right about everything, about his name, about what he did, about the family. That stuff you could Google, you could find it online, of course. But then there were certain things that multiple private conversations that had been had that week that weren't even related to my mum. One of the conversations was a conversation that I had with Savita, my girlfriend, which there was no one else knew about that outside of me and Savita. Like it was insane.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the psychic slash my granddad or whoever it was supposedly said was about how Josh isn't in a great place. And bear in mind, we're going back a couple of months now. I wasn't in a great place, and it was true. I'm not taking life seriously enough. I'm partying too much. Basically, going on about how I need to get my shit together
Right.
if I want to grow up and to take my life to the next level, which is what I've been saying for such a long time. And
Yes.
it was such a, again, you can take it with a pinch of salt, but I like to believe it. And I was like, wow, if the spirits, even if it's not my granddad, but if something is saying this without, the psychic doesn't know me, he's never met me, never spoken to me, there's not much online about me. So yeah, that was a big wake up call. And then, have I told you about the Ouija board? I'm sure I've told you about the Ouija board.
No,
No?
I heard about the
Okay.
psychic, but not the Ouija
Okay. All
board.
right. So then,
Okay.
literally a few weeks later, so I went to Poland for my friend Mike's birthday at the end of February.
You talked about the Poland trip, but we didn't hear about the Ouija board.
Okay. So they were all joking, oh, we should do a Ouija board because we were staying in the forest in the middle of fucking nowhere. And we were like, yeah, we should do a Ouija board. And I was like, yeah, it'd be fun. I've never done one before. It could be an interesting experience. Again, everyone's questioning whether they believe in that kind of thing, whether they believe in ghosts or spirits or whatever. So I was actually on a phone call with Savita and they started doing it. And I had no idea they were doing it. And I came back in, they were like, Josh, this is insane. This is crazy. We're doing the Ouija board. And I went over to them. I was like, so what's happened? And they said it spelt out like a bunch of gibberish, like it was just a bunch of nothing. But then we put it into Google Translate and it translated from Polish to English. And it said something like go away or leave me alone or something like that, but in Polish. No one in my group speaks Polish, not even close to it. Someone, I suppose, could have looked it up beforehand to mess with us, basically. But I was like, you know what? I'll join in. This sounds like fun. We all put our fingers on the. We were doing it. It wasn't even a proper Ouija board. We were using. Do you guys have Scrabble? You have Scrabble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were using Scrabble letters, A to Z. Then we had yes and no spelt out, and then we just had like a literal like drinking glass in the middle. And I put my finger on the thing, and everyone else put their finger on it, and it just fucking went crazy. Like it started swinging all over the place. And then it started spelling my name like repetitively. And again, I was skeptical because I was like, someone's just fucking with me. Like, it's the kind of thing my friends would do. And then it started pretty much word for word quoting what my mum had told me that the psychic had said. Josh, serious life. Josh, play too much. Just mad. Again, no one in my group knew about the psychic reading. No one knew about this, what had happened, and then we asked a question. We were like, okay, well, who is this? And it's paused for a minute or so, and then we asked again, who is this? And it spelled out, I'm Pat. And obviously, to everyone else, that meant nothing. It was IMPAT, but my grandma was called Pat, and I feel like Pat. I don't know about in the US, but it's not a very common name
No.
here, and no one, it's not available online at all. No one would have had a clue what my grandma's name was. She's been dead since I was 9 years old. I was really, really close with her when I was 9. And I was just like, I burst into tears. Like I genuinely, I had a bit to drink,
I
so
feel
that
like I'm
didn't help.
tearing up. That's crazy.
The tears started streaming down my face, and I was like, holy fuck. And then they said, why don't you tell us something that only you would know about Josh, just to see who it is? And it spelled out a bunch of gibberish, but then it said something like Josh deserved joy, Josh needs serious, or something along those lines. And it was just mad. It was just insane. And after that, I was just like so shaken up, and I was like, wow, like a spirit, a psychic, and a Ouija board, whatever, whoever it is, whatever this means, is telling me that I need to get my shit together. I have to change, and it was such a major kind of it was scary. It was a wake up call. So I think that's my big kind of spiritual, not awakening, but spiritual life changing moment. I think it
Ah,
was really interesting. And then off the back of that, I've actually booked in to see this psychic. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. I'm seeing him
yeah.
in a few weeks. But yeah, that's my story.
That's insane. I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing this story because I heard about heard about the Polish trip or the Poland trip on the podcast, but we did not hear about this story. And wow, that's insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Okay, jumping off of that like meat of episode. Okay, first of all, you're wearing a collared shirt. What's that about?
Yeah, I was thinking that when I put it on this morning. I was like, not this morning, after my workout, and I was like, I've never
After
really
your
done that on.
workout,
As in, yeah. So
you worked
listen,
out.
there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know, I know. Yeah, there's a lot of changes, but there's not a huge amount of backstory. So, college
Okay, I
shirt.
was thinking like maybe it was an interview or something.
Well, kind
Or
not really. So, college shirt is actually it's my anniversary today with Savita, 1 year anniversary. So we are going out for dinner tonight. So I thought after my workout, I might as well just put this on now. So
you guys are going out for dinner? That's so much so
going
nice.
out
I
for
can't believe
dinner
it's
and
been a
then we're
year.
going. I know, insane, right? It was so we made it exclusive just before I came to see you in Miami, and that was a
Yes, I
year ago
remember.
today. A year ago tomorrow, I was with you in Miami.
Wait, so have I seen you since then?
No,
So it's been a
no.
year since I've seen you in person?
I feel like that's not that shocking, right? It's pretty normal
I
for our
guess so. That
friendship.
is very normal. Actually, yeah, but honestly, like I think out of all my friends, I talk to you like the most consistently actually. Out of literally all my friends.
Well, this podcast has been a blessing in that regard.
It really has been. It really and honestly, that's kind of like it's been a year since we started podcasting together because that's when we recorded
Yeah,
my episode. Like for
crazy.
my yeah, I know. It's insane. Wow, I can't believe it's been a year with Savita. I can't believe it's been a year since I've seen you.
I know. Yeah,
Wow.
so we're going away for the weekend, which will be really nice. And we booked this Airbnb, which is actually literally just round the corner from where my grandparents used to have a place, and we used to go there every weekend when we were kids. And we had no idea. Like we booked the Airbnb because it looked cool, and then it just happens to be literally a 5 minute drive from my grandparents' place. So it's going to be a really nice weekend of nostalgia.
That'll be so nice. Really sentimental. Okay, so you guys are celebrating. That's how you're celebrating. You're going for dinner, you're going away for the weekend. You've been working out. Like things are on the up and up.
Honestly, life feels so good, and I'll tell you why. Because there
Okay.
is a very exact science or very basic science, but it's so straightforward as to why I suddenly feel like a different
Is it
person.
just sunshine?
That's a big part of it. Today is the hottest day of the year so far, so that helps. But I so last Wednesday, so I'm on day 9 now of the change.
The change.
The
It's very
change.
dramatic.
I've
What
actually
is this change?
I put it onto my like sober counter app as discipline because that was the day that I decided that I wanted just to be disciplined. The change is just being healthy, just being extremely healthy. I think I told you about the photo I saw of myself in Poland,
Yeah,
and I was like
yes, the before and
really
after.
exactly, and I was really big, and it was quite scary to see that. But obviously, we're talking weeks down the line now. No change was made, And I was waiting for this job interview the last time we spoke. If you remember, I was waiting for the job offer. I was really anxious about it. They weren't coming back to me. I was stressing the fuck out. And so I was like, I can't just be living like this. And I asked myself the question of, why am I feeling like this? Why am I so anxious and so reliant on this job offer right now? Because it's just causing me so much anxiety. And I came to the
Yeah.
conclusion it's because I don't have another compelling option. My this job was, or the job interview process was offering me a compelling option for career for the first time in since I can remember, since I started this current job. And so I'm really excited about it. And I was really anxious and whatever because I had nothing else. If this fell through, I was like, I'm fucked. I don't have anything else to do. So I was so anxious about it. So I decided in that moment, I was like, this was last Tuesday. And I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I have to give myself multiple compelling options. And that includes staying at my current job. I have to figure out a way to make my current job compelling enough and my current lifestyle and life compelling enough. And that's where I just decided, just in general, I just wanted to do everything healthy. So I put my phone on black and white, which
I do that too.
honestly, it has really helped because you just don't want to scroll. It's just not like the colors. You can't watch reels properly. It's not as fun or captivating. And so I put my phone on black and white. I I haven't scrolled at all since last Tuesday. I haven't scrolled at all, and I feel
Awesome.
like honestly, I'm claiming my mind back because I just feel just so much more aware and focused, and it made me realize honestly how much the scrolling was damaging my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also claiming back my time. It times like now, so this afternoon, I finished my work today at about 12ish, so like around lunchtime. In the past, I would have sat at my desk scrolling, watching YouTube all afternoon, and YouTube is also included in that. I'm not allowed to just browse YouTube for hours either. I'm
Yeah.
allowed to watch my favorite YouTube channels if they have a new video, but that's it. So because I'm not scrolling Instagram, scrolling YouTube for the whole afternoon, which honestly that was my lifestyle before, that's what I was doing. When I finished my work, that's what I would do. I have so much time to do with whatever the fuck I want. I can meditate, I can work on side hustle, I can go to the gym, I can go for a run, I can cook, I'm eating healthily. Like I cut out all processed food, like no processed food at all. Since last Tuesday, I think I had a massive pizza last Tuesday, and I was like, this is it. This is it. And then yeah, so every single day since last Wednesday, so I'm on day 9 now of every single day doing a workout. So that has been mostly runs so far because I'm really desperate to lose that weight. But I've done 3 gym sessions as well, including the one today. The healthy eating, like I'm watching my calories, but again, only processed food, lots of protein, lots of veggies and fruit. Honestly, I feel the best I've felt in years. I just feel happy and in control of my thoughts and emotions and focused and it just excited about my life. It's honestly such a game changer. I don't know why it took me so fucking long.
Well, has it not been us months of me being like, dude, do this?
It's months on the podcast, but it's also years. Like it's years of me and you and everyone saying, Josh, what the fuck? Get your shit together. And me saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And then last Tuesday, I said, yeah, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I actually did
Mm.
it tomorrow. And now it's an everyday thing.
I love that you put it on your sobriety counter app as well.
Yeah, I did that. I thought it would be nice to see the date that the change was made because I want to keep this going. I want to keep it going in the absolute long run because how how can I go back when I feel like this? It's like when I stopped gambling and I reclaimed my life back then. How could I possibly go back to gambling when I know that my life is so much better now since that?
Yeah.
And it's honestly it's like that. How can I go back to that really unhealthy, unfocused lifestyle when I know how I feel now? So yeah, it's a big change, a good change.
What happened on Tuesday that what snapped in you on Tuesday?
Honestly, I think It's a really good question. I was thinking about this before because I knew you'd ask that question before we even recorded because I knew I'd tell you this and you'd ask me that question. And I don't know. Like I think I was just feeling so gross from all the shit that I was eating and all the scrolling. I just felt brain dead and just I just felt like I was rotting away.
Yeah.
And in those moments where you're at, like, I wouldn't say rock bottom because I wasn't depressed or anything. I was still in a fairly good place because the sun was shining and the weather's been better. But when you're at that kind of point where you just feel a bit gross or like really gross, which is probably what I was feeling last Tuesday, I was like, I have to I have to change this. This is not okay to live my life like this. I have to start getting serious about things. So yeah, I can't give you an exact reason why the change happened. I do think it was largely to do with the job as well, and the thought process behind that was if I change my current life for the better, take action on the things that I can control, then that's a compelling future. That's a compelling option. Right now, the way I'm living my life, I feel great, and it is a very compelling option. So actually, if I don't get this job, which again we can get into in a second, but if I don't get that job, then who cares? Because I'm still enjoying my life as it is,
Right.
and more opportunities will come.
It's like finding purpose in growth in general. It doesn't have to be just growth in career, but can be like growth in other areas as well, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel good. I did have some bad news yesterday with that job. So I told you last time we spoke that I smashed the interview. Absolutely smashed it. It was a presentation, like sales presentation, did so well. Then I didn't hear from them for ages, and I chased. I like sent another email mid last week, and the recruiter came back to me on the Friday, and she said, "I'm so sorry, Josh. I've been really ill all week. That's why I haven't come back to you. I've just spoken to the hiring manager. He's going to come back to me in the next few hours before the end of the day." She then called me like 20 minutes later and she was like, "Josh, they absolutely loved you. They think you're the perfect fit for the company, but they offered the job to someone else yesterday." It's like, what?
What?
Why? Are you serious? And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I had to mask my disappointment. And she was like, "But they loved you so much that they think you are a really good fit for this position, which is another position with another manager, and it's actually a director's position." So they were basically putting me up for this. Bear in mind, again, I've mentioned how big this company is, that they are fucking massive. They're worth about 4 billion. And I think, yeah, I think about 4 billion. And they were saying that I'm better suited for this director's position at this huge company. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. Fair enough. The salary was, again, about £20,000 more than what I would have been making in that job, which is already more than what I'm making in my current job. So I
Yeah.
was like, wow, I won't say no to this. So they set up an interview with the manager of that position yesterday, and I had psyched myself up for it. I was doing everything from a mentality perspective, from a manifestation perspective. I was like, I've already got this fucking job. And then I utilized Valeria's "what's the best that could happen," and I was like, I fucking got this. Like this is my job. And I was listening to all these like manifestation songs, which I've recently discovered they're fucking amazing.
Okay.
I
Link?
absolutely will. It's like this guy kept popping up on my Instagram, and he just does these funny dances. And then I was listening to the music. I was like, this is actually fucking banging. This is really good. I'll send it to you.
Please send it to me.
I
I have a
will.
whole manifestation like playlist,
This
I
is, yeah,
think.
I'll send
Yeah.
it over to you. I think you'll like it. But yes, I had the interview yesterday. I was so pumped for it, so pumped. And literally yesterday morning, a series of really shit things happened at work, and I was like, this is a sign. Like it's not dragging me down because like mentality wise, I was feeling so good. And in general, right now, I just generally feel like really good. I feel unshakable. So like nothing can sort of like push me off this path.
Yes.
So all these bad things are happening. I was like, this is a sign. Like I just need to get the fuck out of this job. And the interview was going really well. And then after about 25 minutes of a 30-minute interview, he said, "Listen, Josh, like you're great. You've interviewed really well. If this was a position that was one level lower, I would hire you right now. but he said you just don't have enough experience at this level of, so it was for new homes, so developers, that kind of thing, home builders. He said with home builders, you just don't have enough experience at the sort of executive level, so I can't hire you. But yeah, he said I'll consider you for other positions. He said if I have a position again, one level lower come up, 100% I'll hire you in a second. I'll give you a call. But for now, it's not the right fit. So that was that. That was the end of that. It's okay. I honestly, I was a little bit disappointed, but I was like, it's happening for a reason. It's happening for a reason. I really do not like. Yes, it's a shame. It's disappointing, but this is happening so that it can make way for better opportunities, another opportunity. And I just went in with a kind of manifestation mindset, and I was like, in my head, I thought I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I invite more. I invite more opportunities. So that was the mindset that I went in with afterwards. And literally an hour later, my mum found a job, which is exactly what I was interviewing for at Zoopla, at that company. Exactly the same position, but for their main competitor, which is Rightmove, who are arguably bigger. Again, they're worth about 8 billion, huge company. And yeah, it's the same position. So I've applied for that, and I'll get it. I'm sure I'll get it.
This, I, hearing you talk like this, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like drinking water when you're crawling through the desert. This is amazing. It's amazing hearing you talk like this again. And if it's incredible, like just, oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I feel like honestly, other than at a Tony Robbins event or after Gills, like that buzz you get after going to a Tony Robbins event, I
Mm-hmm.
haven't felt like this in years. Like since one of those events, which the last one I went to was, I guess, 2018. I just feel really good. And this is by my own accord. This is by the changes that I've made. So this isn't like a short term buzz. This is because of changes that I've made and I can stick with and I can keep this going. So yeah, it's a healthy path that I'm on, definitely.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. This is incredible. This is incredible.
Yeah.
You're moving your body, you have a great mindset right now, like things are going your relationship, like even with a career disappointment, your mindset around it is so positive and healthy. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I honestly, I just feel unshakable. So even being let down, not let down, but being disappointed. I think Josh of a week and a half, 2 weeks ago would have been so upset about that, and I would have really dragged myself down. But I bounced back within probably 20 seconds yesterday. So yeah, it's good. And also, one more thing, one of the commitments, because I have so much time to kill now, I'm using that time to be extremely productive. Again, going for runs, just all the stuff in my manifesto, basically. And if
Yeah.
I'm ever bored and I'm like, I don't know what to do, I literally just open up my manifesto and I'll be like, okay, I'll do that. That's healthy for me. One of the things is reading. And I told you before, I got about a quarter of the way through Matt's book, The Talk to Strangers. And I gave up because I can't see books through. I just can't do it. In the last 8 days, I've almost finished the book. I started again. I started from the beginning. I've almost finished it. I've got about 20 pages left. It's fucking great. It's an amazing
It's
book.
amazing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
amazing. I
so
cried at the
readable.
end too. Yeah,
Oh
it's
god,
so
okay.
readable. I cried at the end. Yeah. There's a part of it that I cried. I like don't books don't make me cry, but I did tear up.
Okay.
Yeah. More at what happens, so I don't have to spoil anything. Like
Yeah.
what happens to this life. But yeah, when he talks about the Iron Man, I like
Oh god,
yeah.
okay. All right. Well, yeah. I'll get there probably in the next day, 24 hours.
Yeah. You're almost there. Okay, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So life is good, and I want to hear all about what you've been up to the last 2 weeks because we were worried about you. I honestly, like, I texted you because I thought I'd upset you or something. I didn't know what I'd done. Like, I sent you this voice message, you never replied, and then I sent you another message saying, "Are you alive?" And you didn't reply. And then Valeria messaged me at 1 in the morning, and I was like, "Fuck, it must be serious if she's messaging me at 1 in the morning." And she was like, "Is Sasha okay?" And I was like, "I have no idea." And then she made the group chat, and then turned out you were very much okay. So what's been going on? What have you been up to?
I Okay. Wait, but I feel like we talked about this because
Yeah,
didn't we talk about this that like I was gonna take 10 days of solitude?
yeah, we did talk
Did
about it. I don't think I had fully registered personally. I don't think I'd fully registered when it was. And I
Okay.
figured, I said to Valeria, I suspect that it's just that she's in her solitude. Yeah. So how was it?
It was really amazing. It was really grounding to spend time with myself for 10 days. Okay, for context, the last time Josh and I recorded, I was in New Orleans with our friend Valeria. And then from New Orleans, I flew to Las Vegas. I spent the morning in Las Vegas. I literally landed, slept over at my, like a friend's house who from Gills, but they were there that year that you didn't attend. Stayed at her house, woke up, picked up my rental car. I went shopping. I splurged on a new coat because it was going to be snowing where I was going and I didn't have a coat. So I was like, I need to buy one. And I'm like, I haven't purchased a piece of clothing for myself since 2023.
Wow.
I want to buy like something nice. So I really splurged on a coat, and which we'll get into because there's the stuff around the financials I really want to talk about with you. And then I drove out to about 20 to 30 minutes outside of Zion National Park. And I basically had a little hut, like a little hut and campground, like right below the mountains. And I spent 10 days in solitude. I turned off all notifications for texts, for calls, for WhatsApp, for everything. So, like, none of the little numbers popped up for me if someone was texting me. And then basically, like, the only contact I was having with the outside world was work, which I barely have meetings with work anyway. So work, and then I would sign on to Instagram once a day to post for my like social media. But then no real scrolling. Towards the end, I ended up scrolling a little bit more, but what happens, whatever. And then the rest of the time, I was in solitude. So I was like getting up every day. I was working from like 7 to 3 for my obviously 9 to 5, but 7 to 3. And then I'd go out and I would like hike in the afternoons. I'd go pick a different hike. I'd go hike. And when I was hiking, I like had no headphones in, no music, no podcast, nothing, just like me and my thoughts, like solitude. And then I'd come back and I worked a ton. Like I worked a ton, a ton. I worked in the evenings. I got so much done. I didn't finish everything I wanted to do, but I think I could have. I mean, there's some bigger projects that like planning Burning Man. I'm not going to be able to do in 2 days, but I worked, like I'd come back in the evenings and I'd work a couple more hours, or maybe I'd spend some time and read. I'm reading The Untethered Soul right now. I'm like 2/3 of the way
Nice.
through.
Okay. I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Deepak Chopra like swears by this book. So I was reading The Untethered Soul. I was journaling. I was using the We're Not Really Strangers self-love pack as like journal prompts and journaling about what I was going through and just spending time with myself. And then at some point I was like, okay, I need to take an hour, and then I was also talking to my therapist. So I talked to my therapist 3 times while I was in solitude. And at one point he's like, yeah, take us. I was like, took an hour, replied to everybody. I was like, there were hundreds of messages from people. And I'm like, first of all, I feel so loved by everybody, especially like you guys. Like, you guys made a whole group chat because you were concerned that I was dead in the woods. Like, you were concerned I was dead.
And the group chat would have been pretty useless if you were dead. You know, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, true. I mean, like, someone in the group chat had my location at least. So, I mean, like, I think people in the group chat have my location. I'm not sure, but people knew. And also, like, you guys knew I was doing solitude. So I was like, why are they freaking out? Katie or like so many texts from them be like, can you just let us know that you're alive?
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry. I felt so loved by everybody, but then it was also a realization, it's wow, like if I'm talking to 10 to 30 people a day, like, of course it's hard to hear my own thoughts about everything because I'm so clouded by
My
other
God.
people's
Yeah.
stuff.
Was it
Like,
that many? Like, it was a lot of people.
yeah, and it's the people on text, the people on WhatsApp, the people on like my Instagram DMs. It's hundreds of messages from people. Like, I didn't realize, like, obviously I'm a social person, right? And with this digital nomad thing, there are like logistically I do have to talk to a lot of people to be like, hey, can I coordinating stays and coordinating things like that and maintaining my connections I didn't realize I'm talking to a crazy amount of people in my day-to-day life. And it's, of course, it's hard to keep up with everything. Of course, my anxiety is like a lot. And then when I opened my messages, like I felt my anxiety rise, like I felt it happen, or the feeling of anxiety rise. And it was really interesting to go through that. And so, of course, my head is feeling cloudy. So I answered everybody, and it was a really, really grounding experience, because the solitude thing was something that I talked about with my therapist and also with you. It's like, I need to spend some time by myself alone, like not talking to anybody, not doing anything, whatever. And yeah, it was a really, really grounding experience. I feel like I learned, I thought I was going to have a more come to Jesus moment. I think there maybe in retrospect, like maybe further along, there'll be like lessons that I learned along the way. And I feel like I did learn some lessons in the same way where it's, oh, I would put energy into my friendship with you, or into my relationship with my family, or into the energy, love, and effort I would put into my relationships with other people. I'm not doing that for myself. I'm not taking the time, energy, effort, love to nourish my own relationship with myself, especially during this time when I'm single, by myself, alone, like whatever. Like, I'm not filling my own cup up. And I should be putting in that same energy, effort, love into my own relationship with myself in the same way that I would with someone else. So that was a big lesson. I meditated every day while I was there, at least once a day. I would even call it more than that, because like on my hikes, I like almost count them as like walking meditations, because I was whatever, and a lot of journaling, a lot of reflecting. I would also like podcast too. So I would sit down and like record what I was going through. I worked a ton, got a lot done. Something I was really stressed about, that like some sort of a moment happened where I was planning out my next month for the digital nomad journey. I did not know where I was going after Miami. And I was like looking into digital nomad retreats, and I was considering going to Argentina, and there was like a digital nomad retreat in Argentina that was like, the dates worked out really well. And I was like I was gonna drive to like Miami, drive to Tampa, stop at a family friend's place on the way, because my mom was going to be there and it was her birthday. So I'll surprise my mom, drive to Tampa, spend some time with Dr. Leprechaun, like 5 days, and then fly out from there to Argentina, spend 3 weeks there, and then do whatever. And then I emailed Dr. Leprechaun and I was like, hey, do these dates work for me to come hang? He's like, yeah, sure. He's here with my calendar. He's the only thing that's not on here is I'm going to Coachella. And I was like, I felt this wave of fire, like just hot, washed over my entire body. As soon as I read Coachella on email, because I wasn't texting anybody, it's just like emailing people here and there, which is like I emailed you to set this up.
I found that so funny. I literally, I told Savita that. She was like, what? She emailed you? Who does that? And then I explained.
Yeah. And I just felt this like wave of like hot come over me. And the only time I did break this solitude is I called him for like literally 10 minutes. And I'm like, are you joking or are you serious? And he's like, I'm serious. And I was like, I was freaking out, because I thought my plans had already fallen into place. Like I hadn't put the deposit down yet for the digital nomad thing, but I was like, it was set in stone for me. And nothing was like booked yet. But I was freaking out about it. And it's like, okay, I need to go back into monk mode. I need to, and maybe I'm like, maybe this is the stillness. Like maybe these are the opportunities that come to me in stillness. And I went out for dinner that night with 2 girls that I met. And it was interesting, because when that opportunity presented itself, the thing I was like, oh, these plans are set in stone. I was freaking out about that. And then my other thought was, what the hell is my therapist going to say about this? And what the hell is Josh going to say about this? And almost being like, I should not make a decision off of other people's perception about what I should and should not be doing. That's not how that works. That's not how you should live your life.
No.
I'm like, I know my therapist and you always have my best interests at heart. I think I was almost worried that you guys were going to judge me, because I know how you guys both feel about the whole Dr. Leprechaun thing. And I know it wasn't about Coachella, because I know if I just told you guys I was going by myself, you'd be like, fuck yeah. But the fact that I'm going with Dr. Leprechaun, I knew you and my therapist would have some sort of feelings about it. My therapist was like, no, like as long as you go and do what you want to do for you, do it, like whatever. And also something I want to mention about this time in solitude, my period happened to line up perfectly. Like I literally started my period the day I got there, and it basically ended, like it was a long period, which I think like universally, like the universe knew, but it's also the time for best reflection. As a woman, you are most in touch with your true feelings about things when you're on your period. It's a great time to reflect about what's going on in your life. And I realized like in that time, I'm like, okay, I really do have like very real feelings for this guy, and that's cool and that's okay. But it's like I do need to focus on myself and I do need to spend time with myself. And it's like both things can exist at the same time as long as I'm like creating space for myself within this. I do have to treat it like this is a person. Yes, he's on the roster. And like I need to treat it more as such than becoming my entire world. And like more
Yeah.
focusing on myself and not just being like an aspect of what's happening. Like seeing that like my wheel is mine and romance is just a piece. It's like not the whole thing.
No.
So yeah, and then I ended up booking Coachella. So I am going to Coachella. And this is the thing is I've been talking about this for months. Like I've been talking about Lady Gaga join the lineup this year. It is a sign from the universe. I've been saying this for what, 6 months at this
You
point?
have.
And
Yeah.
I kept putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. I'm like, oh, whatever, maybe I'll go. I don't know. And then this came up and I'm like, I have to go. Like this, and it's funny because I was editing a podcast episode, and that episode there was a lot of nuggets of wisdom in there, and I have AI pull the social clips for it, and the clip that it pulled, there was a lot of juicy content in there to pull, and the content that it pulled was the blurb about Coachella, and it talked about going, and then in the strike through it was like, and I was thinking about going to South America, and there's like a strike through I was like, I didn't think it was a sign until the next morning, and I was like, oh, that's a sign.
That's really weird. That's quite eerie. What are the chances of that?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's a sign from the universe. Like I'm meant to go. And I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I don't know if Gaga's ever going to join the lineup again. I've been saying this is a sign from the universe, especially considering the last time I went. And I'm like, I can go on a digital nomad retreat anytime. I can go to Argentina anytime. I didn't even really feel particularly called to Argentina. It's just like the dates happened to work, and I was like, okay, cool. And also it was going to be a luxury cost, which we'll get into the financials in a second, but I booked Coachella. And then I was like, I don't know what to do in the couple weeks before. So I've also booked Brazil. I'm going to Brazil for 2.5 weeks. I fly from
Cool.
here to Brazil. I'll be in Brazil for 2.5 weeks by myself. I have an Airbnb booked. And then I fly from Brazil to Coachella. And after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I have a week and a half in there, and I might just hang out in Southern California. Like we have friends in LA and San Diego. Like we'll just hang out over there. And then bop back over to Miami for my birthday, which you got to let me know if you're coming or not. You have a week to
I
decide.
yeah, no, I literally an hour ago I was looking at flights. Literally just before this I was looking at flights and they
All
are
right.
very reasonable. Let's talk about it after because
Let's talk about it after. Okay.
yeah, definitely because this is yeah, they were very, very reasonable and I was like, I could do with it. I could do with a trip, and I could do with seeing my best friend. And also the other thing on that, I was literally like I was going for a walk earlier this afternoon, and I was just thinking about things, and I was like, I haven't got anything booked this summer except for I'm going to Tomorrowland, but I've got nothing, and my boss is being difficult about holidays, which is a whole other thing. But yeah, I really want to come, so let's talk about it.
I'm excited for that too. So yeah, that's what I've booked, and for April, which is crazy that I feel like my plans for the year are already coming through. Like I feel like everything is just happening. But yeah, the time in solitude was really, really great. It was really grounding. I feel like I really enjoyed spending time with myself. Like I didn't really feel lonely. Like at the end of my time, I was like, okay, I'm ready to be integrated back into society. Like I'm ready for that. But I didn't feel lonely at any point during my time in solitude. I like really enjoyed spending time with myself.
Mm.
I did work a lot, a lot, a lot. And my therapist was like, I hope you're not treating this like a workaholic retreat and you're actually taking time of solitude. I think the beginning I was, but a little bit, but like I was making sure I like set time aside for spending time with intentionally with myself. Ate really clean, meditated every day, just enjoyed
Nice. Yeah.
enjoyed everything. So mental health wise, which is like a huge turnaround from the last time we talked where mental health was not doing well. I feel
Yeah.
great.
Good.
I feel really, really great. And I'm really excited. Like I haven't been sleeping well at all. Like I didn't sleep well at all during the time there. I think it's just so quiet. And then I didn't sleep well at all last night, mainly because I've just been future tripping about how excited I am for these next 10 days in Miami. I'm really curious to see how it's going to feel like coming back to my life and seeing how it is. Last night I had a friend pick me up from the airport and another friend came and surprised me. Oh, Hannah. Matei came to pick me up and then
Nice.
Hannah came in and surprised
Cute.
me, and they dropped me off at my friend Monica's house, and I'm here now, and I'm spending the next 3 days at the Call Her Daddy like spring break, which
Oh, is that now? Cool.
yeah,
Okay.
so that I leave for that today. I'm going to be there from today until Sunday, just partying, having fun, meeting new people. Like, I'm trying my best to go in with the intention of just surrendering to the experience, being open to whatever is meant to happen, and then just being present and having fun. I'm my and I'm because I found last night I was just kind of future tripping of, is this networking? Is this, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this happen? Or blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, just go in, be present to the experience, be present, have fun, connect, whatever's meant to happen is meant to happen. Because I do feel like it's also networking as well. And after that, I have a week. I'll be here for another 3 days. I'll be at another friend's house for 3 days, like in where I used to live, like in that area. And then it's Miami Music Week. It's Ultra, which is what you came for last year.
Of course, yeah.
So I'm going to be hanging out at our neighbors. I'll be staying in Brickell, but I'll be hanging out at our neighbors a lot. I'm a little nervous about running into my ex, but whatever, we'll figure it out. I don't think it's like mid-tax season, so I don't think I think he's just going to be like in the middle of working, but it is something that I'm concerned about, but whatever. If I meant to run into him, I'm meant to run into him, but I don't think I will, but it's a possibility. And then I'm just going to hang out with my friends, and I'm really excited for that too. Like, all the people from Wintercella, not all of them, but a lot of people from Wintercella that I just went to are also going to be here for the event, so seeing them again. And the next 10 days, I'm just so excited. And it was keeping me up last night, truthfully. Like, just how excited I am about everything.
That's a really nice problem to have, actually. It's not nice not sleeping, but it's so nice that you feel excited about what's to come. And I think that is a result, and it sounds like what you've done over the last 2 weeks is you have really surrendered to the experience, and you've let whatever is meant to happen, and it's led you to where you are today, to the plans you have in the coming weeks. And that's a really nice thing. And it's nice that you're so excited about it and that you've let it happen, because I know that was something that you were struggling with before. You've let it happen and you're excited about it, and that's really nice. It's just a nice thing to hear.
I'm excited about every single day. Literally, I'm excited about every single day that's coming up until I don't know what I'm doing. So like literally from today, March 20th, until basically May 5th, I'm excited about every single day. There are days after Coachella and before my birthday where I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to be hanging out potentially in LA with people that we love, and I'm excited about those days too. And I'm excited to not know. It's cool to just be like, I can leave room for magic and spontaneity as well. It is on my list to go through and talk to some people and see if they'd be able to host me like around that time anyway, but whatever. But like, it's really cool to be in a position where like literally every single day I'm really excited about. There's something look forward to. So it's a really beautiful position to be in. And this year I really wanted to prioritize my fun and my growth. And the fun, I think I've killed it. And I also realized, we might have talked about this on the last episode. I can't remember if we did or not, but I had the realization that it's like the growth doesn't happen from doing the fun. It can happen from doing the fun things, but the growth doesn't happen from doing all the fun things. The growth happens from these like emotional breakdown situations, like the hard moments, the tough times. That's where growth happens. The like uncertainty of it all, like that's where growth is happening. So it's, if these negative things are coming up, just be, and this is also me just reading The Untethered Soul as well, just being like really present with it and being like, okay, this is coming up to the surface. Cool. This is where growth is happening, like these pains, like these whatever. Something I do want to get into. So that's like the positive of what's happening. Something I do want to get into with you is the area of life that's like I'm feeling iffy about right now is the financials. I recently, we might have talked about this on the pod, I can't remember. My company just started offering a 401k. And in order for me to match it, I am now contributing 38% of my paycheck to my 401k. 38%.
And a 401k, because we don't really have that here. So is that a pension fund, or what is it exactly?
It's a retirement fund. It's a retirement fund.
Okay.
And basically when a company offers this, you can contribute a certain amount, and then every company's different with how much they'll match. So like they'll match a certain amount of income in order to boost or whatever. And I was trying to decide, it was like a challenging decision for me to figure out how much to contribute, because it's right now I'm not paying rent and like I'm living off of what I'm making like up until this point. But now that I'm contributing 38%, like I'm maxing it out. Like I'm contributing the maximum amount so that my company can match up what they can. It's like I'm paying future me basically. And with that, yes, I'm paying future me, which is incredible. But it's like in the now, in the present, like paying the credit card is I dipped into to pay my last credit card bill. I dipped into my savings a bit.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I did. But it's like also, yes, I'm dipping into my savings, but also like I'm paying future me at the same time.
Yeah.
And in the last, I'd say like month or two, last month and a half, I've made some really big purchases, right? I bought my Burning Man tickets. I booked the Call Her Daddy like thing I'm going to today, the Airbnb for my solitude, the Airbnb for Rio. Just I like my coat, my jacket that I splurged on. These things are big purchases. And those are just big purchases on top of going out for meals, buying host gifts, like the regular stuff. And
Yeah.
so I feel like I am spending, and I don't know, I think I really do want to spend some time. Like the scarcity, like I'm spending like I'm an abundant like mindset. But then this after I purchase, the scarcity is, oh my God, the credit card's gonna be so high. What are you doing? Like you're spending over your means. And then the other, I'm bouncing back and forth in my head because I'm like, this experience and time I will never have again, but the money's coming back. And I'm like, there's more than enough. Like my savings, I'm fine. There's
Yeah.
more than enough in savings. Like I'm okay. Like I literally could live years off my savings. And I'm like, if I dip into it this year a bit, I'm still paying future me. Like it's still I'm still like paying myself. Like, I'm still saving just like in a different way. It's like almost just like robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically, like dipping into my immediate savings because I'm throwing a lot into my future, like tax efficient savings, basically.
Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
But I feel like the mindset around it, like there's tension in my body somewhere through it, and it's something I'm like really wanting to sit through and work through, and I don't know what that looks like, but it's something that I've been feeling pretty challenged with.
I
Yeah.
feel like you just touched on it yourself. Also, really struggled with that over the years. I have a terrible, terrible relationship with money as because of the gambling and everything, but such a bad relationship. And I've gone through phases where I'm like, I need to save. I need to budget much more carefully. But at the same time, I'm conflicted because I'm like, but I want to be abundant. I have the money and I want to spend it. And if I spend it, then it will come back because that's how the world works. That's how the universe works. And so then I switch to an abundant mindset. And it's when I'm in an abundant mindset and I'm spending loads of money, which it sounds like you're in that position right now, that it won't be after the purchase. It'll be maybe a week down the line after being abundant every day. I'm like, shit, like I get this anxiety where I'm worried about running out of money or that I shouldn't have spent that amount of money and that my credit card bill is soaring and it's terrifying. Like seeing that figure go up and you're like, I know I have to pay that back and I know that actually I'm probably going to have to eat into my savings to do that. It is scary. But what I always tell myself, and this has really helped me in recent years, especially actually this last year or so, is A, I deserve to live in abundance, and B, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the line, you're going to remember the thing that you spent that money on. It's going to be a memory. You're not going to regret it. You're not going to look back and go, God, I wish I hadn't spent that money.
I wish
And
I didn't
it's
go to Coachella. I wish I didn't go to Rio.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're going to remember Coachella and Rio. You're not going to remember the money that was spent on it because that money will have come back probably 5 times by then, so many times by then. That's a mindset that I try and implement. And it is hard. It is hard because in that moment, like finances are no joke. And it's important, especially as young people, that we keep on top of our finances and that we're not spending too much. And so that mindset always comes into play. But I always try to remind myself when I'm feeling anxious and wow, I shouldn't have spent that money. That was a mistake. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Again, in 10 years, I'm just going to remember the experience and the thing that I bought. I'm not going to remember the money that was spent because it will be back by then. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you want to hear because I know it's easier said than done, but that's something that's really helped me.
Yeah. I think it's like I want to really work on my mindset around it and cautious about being cautious and yes, like spending on these experiences. But then it's also if there's things outside of these experiences, like for example, I went to a rock and crystal shop and I spent $80 on crystals, which seemed insane, but it was also like I know this is gonna sound weird, okay, but like my ex always used to tell me like, don't come home with another plant or another crystal. Like, just stop buying these things. And when I went to this place, I was like, this is for me because I was told not to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I
this,
hear
that was
that.
something yeah. And I'm like, is this an investment in myself because I'm showing myself like, no, you can have these things that you were told you shouldn't be
Hmm.
having.
Okay. Yeah, and but even things like crystals, again, that $80, you're not going to remember it in even 6 months. But you're going to have that crystal, and you're going to be like, "Wow, that's really nice. That's really pretty," or
Yeah,
whatever you
like
do
I'm
with
gonna see
crystals.
it and I'm gonna be like, that I got that for me because I used to be told, no, you can't do that.
Exactly. Like the $80 is not even going to cross your mind.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like the other part of me is I'm like, I'm in my mid 20s. Like I know I'm gonna be making like money comes back.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I see why you're stressing about it and why it is a problem because I go through the same thing and I still do. As I said, even with what I just said, I still go through those moments, but it's the money comes back. It does come back. It always does.
Yeah. And it's like I have more than enough. There's so much in savings right now. There's so much in savings. I'm fine.
So what are you worried about?
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's more than enough in the account. Like I'm not going into debt by any means, like at
Yeah.
all.
Going
You know what I
into
mean?
this year, were you anticipating dipping into your savings?
Yeah. Like I was like, and it's something I talked about with my family. My dad said, just make sure your credit card is underneath like what you're paying for your life. And he's like, if you go over a couple months this year, that's fine. You're not gonna do this again. It's okay. And for him to say that, like my background with my dad and the money and stuff, for him to say that meant a lot. But it's like I knew at some points I was gonna dip into my savings. I think the Asia leg of my trip at the end of the year is gonna be like nothing.
No.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, like the Asia leg is gonna be absolutely nothing. I feel like I'm gonna be fine. The Europe leg, I have no idea. But I'm like, why? Like, how do I manifest just like the free travel? Like, how do
Yeah.
I do that? Actually, I did have one of the hostels I stayed at when I was in Auckland. They actually reached out to me and they're like, we want to host next time you're in like around somewhere we have a hostel. Like, we want to host you. I'm like,
Oh, nice. There you go.
yeah,
Free accommodation.
but they're only in like Australia and New Zealand right now. But still.
But you never know when you might need it.
Exactly. So it's okay. I'm just keep on the path I'm on. Eventually, this stuff will come. But it's like,
Exactly.
how can I
Exactly.
manifest the
Yeah, you you will. You will. It will come. It'll come. You'll get those free jets and helicopters. You'll be flown out all over the place. It's gonna happen. It's
I
gonna
know, like
happen.
when are the people
We're
flying
only
me out?
we're only 3 months in to the year. There's plenty of time. Plenty of time to get it done.
Yeah, I got time. I don't know. I'm really excited about life, but yeah, the financials. I think I want to spend some time like working on my mindset on it and working through this. Like maybe that looks like reading more financial books. Maybe that looks like listening to some more financial podcasts. Maybe it looks like actually sitting down with my budget and sitting down with the numbers and like looking at it and like working on that. Just working my mindset around it because I've just been like throwing the card and just
Yeah, I do also find that budgeting helps. And if you look at what you've spent, what you anticipate you're going to spend, what you think you should probably target to spend, it actually, when you have it down on paper, because I do this quite a lot, actually, is it just makes you feel actually it's not that bad. The amount that I'm spending and the amount that I'm potentially dipping into my savings is not the end of the world. So I think that's definitely something that you could do.
yeah. And I think I also just need to keep in mind like I'm still making the same amount. I'm just seeing less in my paychecks because a lot, like 38% is a very big chunk.
It is a big chunk, but so your company are matching that
No, they're matching a certain percentage,
certain
but
percent.
it's like
Okay,
for me to get to that certain percent,
sure.
I had to max out. So I maxed out
Yeah.
at 38,
Okay.
and it's like that's a big chunk. And
In the long run, it's worth it, and you do have to think about the long-term future. When do you get access to that? How old do you have to be to, or is it
I
you
don't
can get
know.
it? Oh, okay.
I think I'm
Because
like
here,
60 or something. I
okay,
don't
because
know.
here is I think 57 or something. A little bit of a
Yeah.
weird age, but 57. So for me, I opted out of my company's scheme because I was just like, I don't want to wait till I'm 57. I'd rather invest that money myself and be able to tap into it when I'm 40 and trying to retire early than having to wait till I'm 57. But if you've got an employer that's going to match it to a certain extent, then it does make sense.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yes, I'm saving that. So it's okay. If I dip into my savings now, it's like I'm still saving that same amount. It's just,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's the mindset, and you're saying the right things, but it's about actually.
I need to feel and embody it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So gotta get my money playlist going and like start jamming.
That's it. I want to send you those songs, and it will be a game
Please
changer. I swear
do.
to God. You're going to listen to those songs, and you'll have money flowing into your account. I've already seen it myself. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Plus, I'm like, it's like the perseverance and grit. Like I haven't had a review with my company yet for like my annual review. Like the business is just putting my head down and grinding with it. Like the money's coming. Just have to be like patient and just like trust.
That's it.
And who knows? This year I'm focusing on fun and on personal growth. Like next year I can always focus on my finances. And you know what? There's if all else fails, there's always the option to sell feet pics online.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's the best route to take. I think you're better off going for an
It's half a joke.
OnlyFans.
I'm not gonna go for an OnlyFans.
My mum actually looked at like is it feet finder the other day. She was like, yeah, I might sell feet pics, but yeah, I think she decided against it. Or maybe she didn't and she's just not telling us. That's concerning.
It was a joke. Like at the end of the day, if I'm really concerned about it, I can always sell pictures of my feet online.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll catch you guys next week on the Mastermind Moments podcast. Thanks for listening. It's been so nice to talk.
I know. It always is. It always is. But especially it hits sweeter after I was going to say a long break. It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. And also like you and I have both really gone internal, really worked on ourselves.
It's true.
Like it's
Yeah.
It's not the same old shit where it's, are you doing your shit? No, it's not that. Like this
Are
week
you
it's,
waking up at 6:06? No, I'm still not doing that, by the way.
That's all right. You're getting your
But
shit
I don't
done
need to because I've got
regardless.
so much time for the rest of the day now.
That's right. That's right.
So
All
there
right.
we go.
We'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and follow along on social media.
If you would like us to help you mastermind something in your life, please send us a message.
We'll see you next week on the Mastermind Moments podcast.